Hello everyone and welcome to the the first season test here for season number 6, Crown Royal Truck Series at Pocono. The Sundrop Cup Series will be testing here as well, but we are at Pocono with the trucks first to kick off testing season. The field pretty much pulling out already, as I will go ahead and stop this theme there. We are ready though for a 30-minute testing session with 30 drivers out here, and the first driver that the camera is going to snap to, Sebastian Kukulon in the Sauber Racing entry number 20. He will be the first driver we're talking about, moving from Rockstar Energy Racing, his own home team, now out to this number 20 for Sauber Racing Team that Matty Porta drove last season. Now, Porta in that number 20 moves to the Cup Series, but Kukulon in this number 20 looking to finally get himself into NSDCA victory lane for the first time. And behind him is Ethan Head in that number 17. He has moved over to Shade Burkhardt Racing for the Toyota team development there after moving from his old outside line sim racing team last season. That team was funded by Mercedes, but has since closed down after a dismal start to last season, costing them a ton of money and making it the team have to shut down. Truck sold off. He moves his number 17 over to Shade Burkhardt Racing. His first time in a competitive team for an entire season. We'll see how Ethan Head can drive in that number 17. Behind that is the man, Jay Jefferson, one of the only 3 drivers that was fighting for the championship at Kansas last season. He's the only one in the exact same equipment. Carson Bowers moving to Cup, not driving in the trucks this season. He is your defending champion. And Logan Cloud, who finished second in the championship last season, he will be driving 2 different trucks this season, one for Pedal to Metal Racing and the CFRO one that he is practicing right now. Jay Jefferson, though, came up just short last season after an amazing chase, one of the fastest trucks on the grid. He's looking to put down some fast times early on here in this test session. But out in front it is right now Jefferson, who just takes the top of the charts. 25 minutes left in this. We still got 5 minutes just in to this session so far, so a lot of things can happen. But Jay Jefferson in this 48 team looking to bring Texas Star Racing back to victory lane. Jose Perez remains in the number 35 for Gatlin Downey Incorporated. However, they move to Dodge this season as they form an alliance with Cloud Foster Racing Operations in that number 35 truck. As we go through the field, we'll go and take a look at everyone in the field. Just going to check with everyone in the chat if the audio is doing fine. Hopefully it is. It's been a little while since I've actually started practicing or started streaming and recording for this season. Of course, my last time was out at Kansas for the season finale, which was about probably 2 months ago. I'll take a drink. All right, good. Austin Murray now in this number 91. He's fighting off Anderson Reed in the 41. Austin Murray, he of course swept the doubleheader last season here at Pocono. This season, though, he moves over from Mid-South Automotive, who was closing it last season. He now moves over to Pedal to Metal Racing in the truck that finished second in the title hunt with Logan Cloud. Smithfield following over into that number 91, Pedal to Metal Racing, hoping that they will be able to show some speed this off-season to show how fast they can be this season. So Murray, it's not really an upgrade. They were about the same between the 88 and the 91, but he's still going to be bad fast. And Anderson Reed, he won here before. This was where he got his second career NSDCA win, driving for Evernham Racing in Season 3 of the Mountain Dew Custom Series. And that is just over 3 seasons ago. Right now, this 41 team trying to do very good things for Anjato this season. He is the veteran, basically, on Anjato with Peter Anjak. Those two hoping to bring something good this season to Anjato, maybe another championship. Further back here, Rockstar Energy Racing, Sebastian Kukulon replacing Matty Porta, and it's Cody Smart replacing Sebastian Kugelon in that number 12. He will be driving the flagship car for Rockstar Energy Racing, trying to get them into victory lane for their first career win. Kugelon moving away from his own team, looking for his own first career victory, and now Cody Smart looking for his number 1 win right here this season in that truck. And the 53, of course, with DJ Gibson being injured at Talladega last season, he is still recovering, so he will not be able to run many testing sessions. Now it is Brad Stover in the 53 truck for this weekend here at Pocono, and he will be driving the number 87 Mountain Dew Custom Series entry for Zachary Racing. This team is hoping that he will be able to do very good things next season, as Zachary Racing has never won with the 87 car, I do not believe. I think Alex Peters only has wins in the Crown Royal Truck Series. Feel free to correct me if I am wrong. But Zachary Racing has bigger plans. Zachary DeLello will be stepping into the 53 truck for, I believe, the full season this year, as DJ Gibson will be driving in the Cup Series when he does return. Logan Cloud in this number 94, as we said, he is stepping away from that number 91 truck that was bad fast, and now he will be driving 2 trucks this season, one for his own team, Cloud Foster Racing Operations. You see here in the 94, this was driven by Logan Bradley last season. Bradley is in the field in another truck this season, and he will have a full-time opportunity there. But right now, Logan Cloud in this number 94, he's put up the 9th fastest time so far. That's very strong for that team right now, especially after last season with Bradley and Neal both missing the chase by pretty much a long shot, and both finishing outside of the top 20 in points. He's hoping to be able to bring Cloud Foster Racing Operations some momentum, get themselves up in the standings this season. They have acquired a second charter, so both the 94 and 98 are going to be locked in this season. Interesting to see how that goes. And now the 72 team looking for yet another full-time season with now Eric Monaco, the driver that they have been working with in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, finally gets the graduation up to the Crown Royal Truck Series. Returning to GMC is great for them, but last season Matthew Brown was supposed to run this truck full-time. He didn't really do too much in the beginning of the season, multiple DNQs, horrible runs, and they fired him from that team. So we will see how this 72 looks as we go. And there is Logan Bradley. He will take over the iconic number 57. And you see there, forgot to mention this, the Ford bodies now brand new this season. They have made a new Ford body. So that means out of the entirety of the Season 1 Crown Royal Truck Series bodies, none of them return. The Chevy has turned into the GMC, the Ford is updated to a newer F-150, and the Toyota and Dodge Rams were both changed last season and updated. So, Logan Bradley in the 57 truck, he's coming off of a pretty bad season with CFRO being outperformed by Dusty Neal in many aspects. He is looking for a rebirth here at Zachary Racing. He won the Crown Royal 300 2 years ago, looking to repeat that in February here for this 57 team. There's Antoine Smith in the 00 as he goes up to 3rd fastest on the charts. The Evernham driver from last season moves over to SBR, and now this 00 team looking to be very strong. Stanley Kroger, you see on the side, those will be making up a lot of the primary sponsorship this season, and now with Shade Eves owning that SBR team, he knows how to get these young guys starts. Irving Allison was thought to be a bust until he came into the Crown Royal Truck Series and made the chase, fought for a title. Antoine Smith looking to repeat that this season. He wants to go out there and try to win some races. Toyota Racing Development falling into new ownership brings Luke Rainey full-time in the Crown Royal Truck Series. He will be driving that number 71. Does not have Valvoline sponsorship, I don't think, but they're just using the old TRD TRD truck from last season to continue testing. Rainey right now, as he sits 19th fastest, he's one of the strongest guys that is coming out of that Mountain Dew Custom Series last season. Ran very well for Toyota Racing Development in the second half, but he's just hoping that this truck is underpowered as it is compared to the rest of them. He might be able to continue on. We're going to look down, and last right now, Ford Performance Racing's number 76 with a 54.5. Meanwhile, Jay Jefferson pulls away 3/10 over teammate Riley Spurley-Tube, 53.0 to a 53.3. Looking further back, Peter Onjak, usually the pilot of the number 44, not this week. It's Austin Delgado in the testing truck, and that is because of the NSDCA's new testing policies, where A driver who has never made a start in the Crown Royal Truck Series on a 2-mile oval must first complete a test at a 2-mile oval, or in this case a triangle, for their eligibility for races in next season. So that means Austin Delgado will be eligible for races like Auto Club Michigan, possibly Texas World and Pocono, so that they will hopefully be able to get him some starts there. This will check off that entry list for him, entry requirement for him. Eli Bright actually getting a power-up this season. The 8 team now as TSR goes from 4 trucks to 3 after Riley Spurleytube ran the whole last season as an open truck without a charter. Texas Star Racing was able to purchase the Mid-South Automotive equipment last season, or over this off-season's auction. They took the 88 truck, so that made sure that he will now be driving the old number 28 that Riley Spurleytube drove last season. But that's also important for Eli because he won in this equipment at Richmond in season number 1. Looking further back, the most controversial move in the offseason is Aiden Smith in that 68 truck. Monster Motorsports, as it is now, not Diego Yepes Incorporated anymore. They moved to GMC to help the GM program hopefully improve. But Aiden Smith, the rookie coming out of the Molson Modified Series, now sits 30th on the grid out of 30, the slowest truck so far. It is an underfunded truck, to say the least. Compared to the 5 and the 85, this is very underpowered. It is the 05 truck from last season, and that really did not get much love outside of being a part-time truck. Aiden Smith back in 30th. He has a lot to prove this season if he wants to continue racing. We'll have to see, though, if this was a rushed move or a calculated move by team owner Diego Yepes, as this 68 team 30th on the grid right now, hoping that in the second half of practice they might be able to improve. And looking back there is the 77, another Monster Motorsports driver. Colton Lane is in the 77, but he will be driving the number 60 during the season. Austin Johnson was not entered in this test, and they instead entered the number 60, they entered the number 77 in for Pocono instead of the number 60 for Colton Lane. So that number 77 usually going to be driven by Austin Johnson the whole season. Colton Lane in it today. He is your defending Season 5 Mountain Dew Custom Series champion. Already talked about Kukulon to start off, but there's Riley Spurleytube getting a major upgrade. He is driving the number 88 equipment that he had last season, that Austin Murray had last season, and that truck won by 5 seconds in the second race of the doubleheader weekend at Pocono. He's trying to put a fast lap down, stuck behind Kukulon right now as Kukulon's going to hit pit road, slowing down for pit road. Spurleytube goes by. He's right now second fastest in testing, but still 3/10 off of team owner Jay Jefferson. It looks like Texas Star Racing might have a stranglehold on these fast, long speedway types of tracks. A lot of people down pit road. We'll talk about them later. If we're missing anything, if I can get to him. And there is Alex Peters in the 45, returning to Zachary Racing with Dex Imaging as a main sponsor this season instead of GoDaddy. Zachary Racing, they really fell off in the second half of the season. Peters missed the chase after about 5 drivers were fighting for the 2 wildcard spots after he got that win at Auto Club last season. Now looking to get some speed back once again, but Zachary Racing has been pretty slow. 22nd quickest so far for Alex Peters in that 45 team, hoping to improve as this session goes on. Cordell Smith is not a Crown Royal Truck Series driver, but he is going to be running part-time for the Toyota Racing Development number 67 here. Toyota Racing Development, one thing to note, has split off from Shade Burkhart Racing as they got new ownership over the offseason. So that'll be interesting to see if this TRD team can run themselves on their own. They got the start up from SBR, hoping to continue on, maybe put some fast laps in and try to contend for wins this season. Maybe not with the part-time truck, but definitely with Luke Rainey. As Aiden Smith, some adjustments on pit road, trying to get him a little faster. Cody Goforth in this 27 will be running full-time for North Border Motorsports, and they are the satellite team to Monster Motorsports. That is why they are over here in the GMC. They have gotten a charter from Monster Motorsports for this season as MM won one in the auctions over the off-season just recently. So that means Cody Goforth will be in full-time in this 27, running all 20 races as he leaves Rockstar Energy Racing as well. The interesting thing about RER this season, none of their 3 full-time drivers returned. Kukulon goes to Sauber Racing Team. Meanwhile, the 24 driver, Cody Goforth, comes over to North Border Motorsports. And the 19 driver, Gatlin Downey, goes to the Cup Series with his own team, driving the number 35 up there. Looking back, there's Aiden Smith, Jay Jefferson. Who else are we missing? We covered Delgado. We got Kukulon. And there's one another new, I believe, satellite team too. That Shade Burkhardt Racing driver. You see Antoine Smith behind him. This is Maxwell Fye getting the number swap over to the 01 instead of the 16. He'll be in the second truck for the team this year, as Matthew Brown, who is also in this testing session, will move into the number 16 truck. They swap over to Toyota, hoping that SBR will give them some power heading on through this offseason and into the next season. They're just hoping that instead of last season with Anthony Lehman DNQing a ton of races and that 01 truck just running mediocre, hoping that Maxwell Fye will be able to inject some new life into the 01 truck. But both of the BGM drivers on a rebuild this season. Horrible last year for BGM, hoping to bring that one back. Larry Hagan, driver of the number 76 for this weekend. He'll be driving, I believe, 14 races or 10 races. I don't know how many races for this team in this season. He'll be running a lot, I believe, full-time. I don't have all the information about that. I didn't come prepared. I'm sorry. But this team is looking to run full-time, as Cody Goforth is now the new owner of it after last season. They're looking for a charter, but if they do not get a charter, they will still attempt the full season run. Not many trucks look to be full-time this season. Only about 34 full-time drivers, meaning this team, if they can sneak it and get some experience and get some speed, they could be looking at a chase berth if Hagan is the full-time run. That'd be interesting to see. Right now, this 76 team, they improved from 30th on the grid up to 24th as they're running with a pack. Antoine Smith, Riley Spurlitube, Cody Smart, Luke Rainey, and Colton Lane. Again, not in the 77 full-time, just running it for this test. They are all in this pack, probably just getting some racecraft together between them. There is Eli Brighton. There's Stephen Wallace Jr. He is driving full-time for Cloud Foster Racing Operations in this number 98. He moves over from North Border Motorsports over to the 98 truck back at CFRO as they are trying to improve off of last season. This is Dusty Neal's truck that Neal drove the 97 last season, changes to the 98, so they got their old two numbers back. SWJ did not go, went winless last season in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. 2 years ago, he won at South Boston, hoping to improve and put himself back into victory lane. Had some good runs at North Border Motorsports last season, hoping to improve and help this CFRO team rebuild as their seasons have gone down the hole. Kev Shearer moves as he has a full-time ride with Shade Burkhardt Racing in the number 83 in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. He will also be driving the RER number 24 this season. And this is another controversial move as he has really not done much to warrant a truck ride. He's done very well in his starts where they have been, but he has not driven a full-time year in the NSDCA. He's driven part-time in the DPDS. He drove only half the season in the Mountain Dew Custom Series before he left FAR and went into a retirement. Came back, though, now in this 24 truck, looking to take this team to victory lane, hoping that that SBR practice in the Mountain Dew Custom Series will come in handy for driving at these big ovals and just driving in general for this slower team of RER. Casey Mears in the 25. This truck, I believe, is full-time, as it is the number 8 from last season with Texas Star Racing. Casey Mears will be testing it here at Pocono. Don't know how many more tests they'll be in or how many races they're running. I believe they are trying to run the full season, but not with the same driver. So, Kamikaze Motorsports, part of the Onge Auto pipeline, looking to see if they can improve their standing this season. A mediocre MDCS team, to say the most about it. They had some good runs with Austin Delgado and Casey Mears, mostly at the road courses, hoping that maybe this team will be able to run better. They did have a top 10 with Roger Ray last season at Kentucky in the number 90, hoping that they will be able to keep improving there in this number 25. They will also be driving the number 90 as a part-time truck, most likely with some Onge Auto funding. Brandon Morris will be in the number 89 this season for Shepherd Racing, as Diego Yepes has gone to the Truck Series, or to the Cup Series, I'm sorry, for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. The Racing with Jesus Toyota will be sponsored like this for a couple races, but Valvoline taking most of the sponsorship during the season, as they do with Brandon Morris. Of course, you remember he was banned for a year last season, but was allowed to come back just for one race at Michigan, providing that he did not mess with the championship drivers, and he almost did, being lapped at Michigan. He's in a slower 89. This is the same 77 that was running last season, and of course, not as strong of a driver as Diego Yepes. I don't see much coming from this 89 team right now, 22nd in practice, but they'll be hoping to do something good for Shepherd Racing and that lone Toyota team that is the only one truck team for Toyota. Looking the rest of the way around, I believe we've caught almost everyone, but there's a few guys on pit road right here, including Matthew Brown in the number 16. He's right now 27th fastest for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports, and they are really looking for that improvement. Brown has been the developmental driver for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports in this number 16 truck this season. He drove it to a top 10. It was top 10 in points for a while in the Mountain Dew Custom Series in that number 01 for Brown, but at the back half of the season, horrible finishes dropped him all the way to, I believe, about 20th in the standings. So Brown looking for that redemption. He drove the Smart Motorsports 72 last season and was supposed to run that full time. That deal fell through about halfway through the year, so now he finds himself back in the number 16. This is the driver that Butcher Gatorade Motorsports has pretty much put everything on the line for. Will it pay out? Who knows? But this 16 team, happy to see Brown finally in a competitive truck, or as in a competitive truck as he can be. A lot of teams on pit road. Delgado, you see in that 44, just kind of sitting there. They're probably just not trying to go out right now. There's Roger Ray in the 84. We have a few more to talk about. Roger Ray came up as a runner-up at Kansas last season, but he ran pretty well for Anjato. He's winless in anything but the RBSTS. But now, Ray, he came off a one-season Mountain Dew Custom Series, now in Carson Bowers' championship truck. This is where that equipment is gone, and he wants to go get his first win and fight for a title. This would be a great job for Anjato's top rookie prospect to possibly go in and take some W's. This team is fast. Bowers got one win last season, but again, remember, 17 top 10s, I think about 17 top 10s for that 25 team. They are hoping that they will be able to take some wins this season. And one truck's around. That's Cordell Smith in the 67 as he goes sliding into the outside wall. We'll take a quick look at that. Our first incident of the practice. And he is coming off a pit road here. You see the pack, the 47, which we'll talk about shortly. And it looks like he and Maxwell Fye just get together, spin around, and it's going to slap the driver's side wall, or driver's side in that number 67. Slaps the driver's side. A bit of damage to Cordell Smith's 67 truck. He continues on. Nothing else bad about that. Most likely we'll bring it down pit road right there. Get some repairs on that truck. 7601 we've talked about. There's the 47 for testing. It's Dylan Young, but full-time Jesse Turner has Anjato and Ditech have made a deal to get Jesse Turner some truck seat time. He'll be driving for Rookie of the Year honors in this number 47 truck for Anjato. This will be, I believe, the fourth full-time entry for the team. So I don't know which truck he actually has equipment-wise, but he is the rookie with Roger Ray. We'll see which one of those guys can run better here at Pocono and during the during the full season. Of course, though, Dylan Young in this truck just for Anjato to meet that qualification of Young practicing on the 2-mile tracks. Now I believe that should be everyone. That should be our entire 30 truck field talked about. And of course, in the opening testing session of the season, you just want to make sure you know what drivers are who and what kind of storylines we're looking at. Now let's go ahead. With 4 minutes left, we'll go ahead and talk about some of the speeds we've been seeing. And Jay Jefferson, that opening lap with a 53.0 has not been beaten, and it looks like he will be one of the fastest drivers in this grid. This is going to be sketchy, though, as Colton Lane comes out. They're 3 wide, narrowly missed by Kukulon. Jefferson get by him. Nice job by those guys. That is what veterans do instead of those rookies that we just saw a little while ago with Faye and Smith. But Jay Jefferson with a 53.0 fastest lap for Texas Star Racing. It is 1.5 seconds faster than the slowest truck, which is Aiden Smith. and we'll look for that second fastest driver, and there he is, Riley Spurleytube. Remember, 2 years ago, he was supposed to drive this 28 truck, was injured in the offseason, but he's back. This is his redemption tour now. Last season was his first time full-time in a Crown Royal Truck Series truck. Now on his sophomore year in this 28 team, hoping to see some good things, especially with some great equipment underneath him. He's hoping to get a top 10 in the chase this season, hoping to make the chase for Texas Star Racing. Gatlin down, he's number 35 of Jose Perez, sits third fastest with that Wendy's partnership that they always have. Wendy's sponsoring the truck the full season. On this switch to Dodge, it's looking like a bad fast race team right now. Perez won Las Vegas last season, but missed the chase because of all those wild card drivers. Looking to do more this season, possibly get himself into a title hunt. And Anderson Reed, off the back of Austin Murray, has just put in the third fastest lap time. Great run by Reed there. He's a big track ace. All of his wins coming at 2 miles or over racetracks. 2 wins at Watkins Glen, 1 at Pocono, 1 at Daytona in his career. He's very strong at these tracks, puts himself third quickest. And Antoine Smith, the last one. You see this big pack right there. Antoine Smith is the last one if we can find that 00. There he is for Shade Burkhardt Racing. Notably, 2 of the SBR drivers, the 82 and 83. Alex Benyako in the 83. 82, I forget who is in that truck right now, but of course, SBR having 4 full-time trucks. It's going to be interesting to see that. But Antoine Smith, the rookie for the team, he wants to get himself into the chase as well, possibly top what SBR's horrible season was last season with crashes, spins, and all that. They are inside the top 5 fastest right here. Kukulon putting up a strong performance in that number 20. He's 6th fastest right now, as we're just going to go ahead, give you guys a flyby till the end of practice. 7th is Roger Ray in that number 84. Great job for the rookie. And 8th, Casey Mears, seeing some speed out of that Kamikaze Racing number 25. That might be because he's in this group right here with all this draft down these long straightaways. It's important. And he's drafting off of Jay Jefferson. No wonder you'd be pretty fast. But 6/10ths off of Jefferson. Eli Bright, 9th, and Ethan Head, 10th. Those top 10 will get a bonus in their upgrade points. I forget what I said they would be, but they will get a bonus for being in the top 10 fastest. Looking down the grid, you got Colton Lane in 11th for that 77, which Austin Johnson will be driving the full season. Brad Stover 12th in that number 53, which DeLello will be driving the full season. 13th, Dylan Young, which Jesse Turner will be driving the full season for on Giotto. So 11th, 12th, 13th, all drivers not actually driving those trucks. 14th, Cody Smart. 15th, Logan Cloud, who again will be splitting time between the number 70 for Pedal to Metal Racing and the 94 for CFRO. Austin Murray, very slow, 16th quickest only in that number 91. Logan Bradley, 17th fastest. Austin Delgado, 18th fastest. Brandon Morris and Maxwell Fye round out to the top 20. And the slower trucks at the back here, you got the 72 of Eric Monaco for Smart Motorsports. Kev Shearer, the slower, the Rockstar Energy guys. Matthew Brown, surprisingly, the slower of the Butcher Gatorade Motorsports guys. That's interesting to note. Luke Rainey, 24th quickest. Alex Peters, a very abysmal time for Zachary Racing's team, 25th quickest. 26th, Cody Goforth for North Border Motorsports. 27th is Stephen Wallace Jr. for CFRO. And then the bottom 3, you got Larry Hagan in that number 76. Hagan will be driving the full schedule in the Sundrop Cup Series for Texas Star Racing. 29th, Cordell Smith, and 30th, rookie Aiden Smith, 0.3 of a second off of Cordell Smith and 1.5 off of the rest of the grid. You see that big pack flyby right there. 14 seconds left before we end our broadcast here. But Jefferson and Spurleytube, it's a Dodge top 4, but Texas Star Racing top 2. We thank you guys for tuning in to the first test session of the Crown Royal Truck Series season. We have many more to come, and the Sundrop Cup Series will be testing at Pocono soon as well. We thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.